by one author. Do you have any question concerning this issue? Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor, we hear you. No questions.
Okay. You have to memorize these forms, by the way. I'm giving you a form every now and then so that you will have enough time to memorize these forms. You have to memorize them because on the exam, I will ask you to write bibliography notes. So you may have bibliography notes for a book by one author, for a scholarly journal, for an article published online, or for a book written by more than one author. So you have to memorize all the forms that I discuss in this class. Okay, today we will discuss Merriam-Moore's In Distrust of Marriage. And I said last time that the methodology to, or the approach to analyzing this poem is Freud's view of civilization and its relation to the human psyche. I said last time, according to Freud, to be a civilized man, and man here means both men and women, to be a civilized man, one has to control his basic needs and drives. In other words, according to Freud, man has to control the tendencies or the instincts that degrade him to the level of an animal. So all instincts that threaten the existence of man in a civilized society should be kept under control. So that's why Freud believes that if man has a tendency towards violence, he doesn't have to go around beating this and that. According to Freud, man has to sublimate this tendency. Sublimate, S-U-B-L-I-M-A-T-E, i.e. you have to rechannel it, you have to redirect it. Okay, so instead of hitting other people, man has to, let's say, satisfy this tendency towards violence by practicing a certain kind of sport. Okay, so in this book, or in his book, which is entitled Civilization and Its Discontents, Freud...
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, good morning. Freud comes up with two kinds of instincts that control man's life. These instincts are called eros, i.e. life instinct, and death instinct. Okay? So eros or death instinct leads to the preservation of human life, whereas death instinct leads to the destruction of human life. Okay? So in this poem, Sylvia Merriam-Moore believes that people who wage wars are those who are controlled by their death instincts. So according to her, to do away, to prevent all types of war, man should be controlled by his life instinct. And at the end of the poem, we realize that she wants man to wage a war not on his fellow man. No, man has to wage war against his evil nature. So it is a war against our death instinct. Right? Did you read the book?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
What's it all about? Did you enjoy reading the book?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor, I can tell you what's about.
Yes, okay, go on.
The poem In Distrust of Merits is written by Miriam Moore. The title shows the rejection of trust in what is usually considered to have merit. The poetess is against the war. Her language seems as a cry. She claims that no one deserves to be praised or is worthy for a merit. The battle in this poem seems more spiritually than physical. She
Yes.
believes that the fighters shouldn't take a praise such as medals of victories because they are doing actions against humanity. They kill each other. The soldiers here are fighting a blind man who thinks he sees, and because of his moral blindness, he is enslaved and harmed. She refers to the stars to guide humankind. As we know, stars are used for guidance or enlightenment in darkness. She says that the individual should understand what motivates man to the violence of war. She refers to the possible causes of war, such as religious differences, when she says the Star of David of Judaism and the Star of Bethlehem of Christian. Also, she refers to racial differences when she says Black Imperial Lion. Then she says that the ongoing and continuous fighting led to kill our inner selves, not the enemies. It's shown when she says we devour ourselves. She moves the guilt from the external enemy to an internal one. Then she says that the results of war are always melancholic and miserable that lead to loss of spirits, especially loss of man. That's why she says the words an orphan's home. So people pay the price of their actions. Okay, thank you, doctor, for giving me a chance to discuss it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Who else?
Can I?
Okay, go on.
Okay, here in this poem, she is criticizing the behavior of human. They are like wolves in each others. They hate each others, and the human don't understand their real nature. They are just like a dust in this world, and still they are arrogant. So the solution of this arrogance is to understand their true nature and to be patient instead of making worse, because in where no one will win. All people are losers.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add something?
Okay, go on.
What the poem was talking about is there's this part that really caught my attention when she said, I must fight till I have conquered in myself what causes war, but I would not believe it. According to the poet, she urges us to embrace what's coming from within, our own shadow, and to accept everything that comes from within. And when we want to apply Freud's points of view, he says that death leads to the destruction of life. But we can conquer from within, we can conquer death.
Okay. Are you done, Ola, or you have lost connection with us?
No,
Suhaib,
I didn't lose.
are you done?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suhaib. Okay, in distrust of merits. Now, merits here means potentials, and distrust is the opposite of trust. So here the title is suggestive of the theme of the poem. Mary Moore is trying to say that if we do not trust our potentials to stop wars, we will be ferocious animals fighting each other. So that's why somewhere she says, man is wolf to man. By the way, this line is taken from Thomas Hobbes, and I will come to it later on. Thomas Hobbes is one of the philosophers of the Renaissance. He believes that man is evil by nature. And because man is evil by nature, the strong man will tend to control the weak one. So that's why he says, living in the state of nature, the strong man will defeat and control the weak man. And in this case, man's life will be closer to the life of the animals. And I discussed this in detail in the Shakespeare course. Now, Mary Moore is saying that we have the potential to stop war. How? By controlling the dark side of our psyche. Psyche, P-S-Y-C-H-E. Okay? So what causes war, according to her, is the evil side of the human self. So according to her, we have the potential to control this evil side of our nature. If we control it, we will stop all types of war. Therefore, she says, strengthened to live, strengthened to die for medals and positioned victories. So according to Mary Moore, man is given power to live. So man has to use his power and his strength to survive on this earth. He is not given power to destroy others in order to win victories and medals. So this is what she's saying. She's saying that wars lead to the destruction of human life, and those who destroy human life are awarded medals, i.e. they are given medals as awards, and they get victories. So the question here means that the lady denounces the war. She is against the war. So in other words, she's saying that you are not strengthened to die for medals and position victories. Okay? So this is a rhetorical question. We have two types of rhetorical question. We have a positive rhetorical question and a negative rhetorical question. Okay? So this question is a positive rhetorical question. So the positive rhetorical question has an answer that is negative. So it means, are you strengthened to die for medals and position victories? So the answer that we expect to this question is, no, you are not, or we are not strengthened to die for medals and position victories. So the answer to a positive rhetorical question is negative. This is how we define a rhetorical question. So the answer to a positive rhetorical question is negative. And the answer to a negative rhetorical question is positive.
دكتور
Yes.
صوتك كتير عم يغوش منو واضح الصوت.
Yes. Not clear.
Yes, doctor. It's not clear.
Yes.
حتى دكتور ما عم لحق عليك يعني اسم الله.
وفي شيء رجع أو شيء ما عم نفهم يعني.
I think it will be solved within a minute. Okay. Okay. Is it solved now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm saying the poem starts with a rhetorical question.
مش على الآخر بعد في شوية صوت. ما بعرف إذا المشكلة بس من عندي ولا ما I don't know.
لا من أول ما بلش المحاضرة هيك
لا
سامعين
كلنا
نحن.
عم نفهم.
All of you have the same problem?
يس يا دكتور من أول ما بلش
Yes.
المحاضرة.
Yes.
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 Okay, I will disconnect. And I will start another meeting. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
Yes, I will change my position. That's why I have to disconnect. Okay, hello.
Hello, doctor.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, send a message to your friends to join this meeting, the same meeting. Okay. Okay, I was discussing the meaning of the rhetorical question, right?
Yes,
Yes,
right.
I said the rhetorical question is a question that doesn't anticipate an answer. It doesn't require an answer. It already has its answer. So if the rhetorical question is a negative question, i.e. it has the word not, the answer is positive. And if it is positive, the answer is negative. Here you have strengthened to die for medals and position victories. This is a positive rhetorical question. So the answer that I expect to this question is, no, you are not strengthened to die for medals and position victories. Now, rhetorical questions are used to emphasize a certain idea. Okay, So the emphasis here is on strengthening man so that the human life will be perpetuated on earth. Okay, so I said, according to Merriam-Moore, people are given power to live on earth. They are not given power to destroy. What? People are given power to live, they are not given power to decimate or to destroy human life on earth. Decimate, D-E-C-I-M-A-T-E. They are fighting the blind man who thinks he sees. And then you have a dash. After the dash, you have an explanation. This is how you should read a poem. You have to pay attention to every single element of the poem. Be it a word or a comma or any punctuation mark. They are fighting the blind man who thinks. What's wrong with you? They are fighting the blind man who thinks he sees, who cannot see that the enslaver is enslaved. Okay, so the blind man here is not necessarily a physically blind man. وقفيني هتضجي. Mute yourself. Okay, they are fighting the blind man who thinks he sees. So the blind man here is not a physically blind man. He is blind because he cannot see the truth. Okay? So people wage wars on those who don't understand that the one who wages wars is a slave to himself. Okay? So the one who wages wars, the one who makes wars, is not a free man. He is a slave to his evil nature. This is what Merriam-Moore wants to say. They are fighting the blind man who thinks he sees, who cannot see that the enslaver is enslaved. So the enslaver here is the one who makes wars. So the one who makes wars is not a free man. He is a slave to his evil nature. He is a slave to his hatred. So people who wage wars are controlled by a sense of hatred. Okay, they are enslaved by their death instincts. The hater harmed. So the one who wages wars doesn't harm only other people. He harms himself because he is controlled by his evil nature. Oh shining, oh film, star, oh tumultuous ocean lashed till small things go as they will. The mountainous wave makes us who look no depths. So people are controlled by a sea of hatred. This is the meaning of tumultuous ocean, lashed till small things go as they will. Lost at sea before they fought, O Star of David, Star of Bethlehem. Now, here the lady, i.e. Miriam Moore, uses the Star of David and the Star of Bethlehem as two symbols of two inimical forces. Okay, the Star of David and the Star of Bethlehem are two symbols of two inimical forces, i.e. two enemies. So the Star of David stands for the Jews, and the Star of Bethlehem represents the Christians. And you know that the Jews and the Christians hate each other because the Christians believe that the Jews have betrayed Jesus Christ or have caused the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's why she uses the Star of David and the Star of Bethlehem as a symbol of enemies that hate each other. O black imperial lion of the Lord. This is an allusion, this is a reference to Jesus Christ, the black imperial lion of the Lord. Okay, this is Jesus Christ, emblem of a risen world. Yes, Jesus Christ is a symbol of a newly born world, i.e. a newly born humanity, i.e. a humanity purged of sin. Be joined at last, be joined. So in this stanza, Miriam Moore calls on Christians and Jews to be united. She doesn't want them to be enemies anymore, because enemies are controlled by hatred, and hatred leads to wars between them. There is hate's crown beneath which all is death. There is loves without which none is king. Okay, so here we have two crowns. The crown of hatred and the crown of love. The crown of hatred causes death. Yes. So the king of hatred is the king that causes the death of people, whereas the crown of love leads to life. The blessed deeds bless the halo as contagion of sickness makes sickness, contagion of trust can make trust. Here she is calling on people to trust each other. Here we have the imagery of contagious disease. A contagious disease is spread from one person to another. Okay, so here she's saying that trust will lead to trust. So we have to have our lives controlled by trust. They are fighting in deserts and caves, one by one, in battalions and squadrons. They're fighting that I may yet recover from the disease myself. So there is war everywhere. This is the meaning of this part. So people,
Doctor?
yes.
Sorry for interrupting, but the lecture is not recorded.
It is recorded. You are recording according to my computer.
I don't know.
No? Check it. Yes, I am recording.
Yes, yes, it is.
Doctor, can I ask you a question?
Okay, go on.
What did you say about the king of hatred? Is the king that what?
The king of hatred is a king of death. Whereas the king of love is a king of life. So according to the poem, people should be crowned with the crown of love, not with the crown of death.
Doctor,
Yes.
what is the name of the disease يلي بيعدي? What is the
I
word?
didn't mention a disease. I said it is an imagery of a contagious disease. Contagious means that it is a disease that spreads from one person to another. يعني مرض معدي. أيوة يعني contagion. عدوى.
Yes, I was asking for this word.
Why didn't you look it up when you read the poem?
Yes.
Okay. They are fighting in deserts and caves, one by one, in battalions and squadrons. I said they are fighting everywhere. They are fighting that I may yet recover from the disease myself. So the speaker in this poem is saying that I may recover myself from the disease of hatred. This is the disease that she is talking about. The disease of hatred that spreads from one person to another. As a result, there will be a destruction of human life. Okay? So just as a contagious disease destroys life, hatred destroys life. So this is the significance of the imagery here. Is it clear? Is
Yes,
it clear?
clear, doctor.
Some have it lightly, some will die. Man's worth to man. Okay, this statement, as I told you at the beginning of the lecture, is taken from Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes, Hobbes. And I thought Thomas Hobbes is a philosopher of the Renaissance. He believes that in the state of nature, all people live as animals, and the strong animal beats the weak animal. So that's why he says man's wolf to man, i.e. man is wolf to man. Man is evil by nature. So that's why, according to Thomas Hobbes, man should live in the social order, i.e. he should live in a civilized universe that keeps his evil nature under control. Okay? So here man's wolf to man, and we devour ourselves. So Merriam-Moore is saying that people are evil by nature, and the evil side of their psyche leads them to destroy people's lives. So that's why we devour ourselves, i.e. we kill, we consume. This is the meaning of devour. We consume, in other words, we kill ourselves. The enemy couldn't have made a greater breach in our defenses. Okay? So our evil nature leads to our destruction. So that's why our enemy takes advantage of our weakness. So this is a weakness in the human nature. Hatred is a weakness in the human nature. So this weakness leads the enemy to take advantage of us. So in other words, we are brought to wars. As a result, we are brought to the world of death. One piloting a blind man can escape him. But Job, this is not Job, this is Job, the prophet who is mentioned in the Old Testament. But Job, disheartened by false comfort, knew that nothing can be so defeating as a blind man who can see. Okay, again, this is a reference to Job. And according to the Bible, Job became blind, and his blindness was a test of his patience. And Job, according to the poem, knows that he has been blinded because he has been tested by God. So he knows the purpose of his blindness. But the people around him are not aware of this fact. The people around him don't know that he is undergoing a certain kind of test. So that's why they sympathize with him. They pity him. So that's why Merriam-Moore says, one piloting a blind man can escape him. So this is a reference to the physically blind man. But Job disheartened by false comfort, knew that nothing can be so defeating as a blind man who can see. So Job is physically blind, but intellectually he is not blind. The people who pity him are intellectually blind because they don't know the truth. Is it clear? Is the reference to Job clear?
Yes, Doctor.
All alive who are dead, who are proud not to see, O small dust of the earth that walks so arrogantly, trust begets power, and faith is an affectionate thing. Okay, so people who are controlled by hatred are living dead people. I.e., they are living, but in fact they are dead. They are dead because they don't know the truth. And they are proud not to see the truth. O small dust of the earth that walks so arrogantly, trust begets power, and faith is an affectionate thing. So according to her, we need to have two things in our lives. According to Miriam Moore, we need to have two things in our lives. We need trust and we need faith. Okay, so if we trust our potentials, if we trust the good aspects of our nature, we will have power. We will be strong. We will not destroy our life. And we have to have faith in each other. So if we have faith in each other, we will have love, i.e. we will love each other. Okay, so trust and faith lead to both power and love. So if we have power, if we love each other, we will stop killing each other. We vow, we make this promise to the fighting. It is a promise. We'll never hate black, white, red, yellow, Jew, Gentile, untouchable. Okay, i.e. we promise not to hate the black, the white, the red, the yellow, the Jew, and the untouchables. We are not competent to make our vows, i.e. we don't live up to our promises. Okay, so we make promises, but we don't live up to our promises, i.e. we don't keep our promises. With set jaw, they are fighting. The set jaw is a symbol of anger. Right? And anger is, psychologically speaking, a kind of emotion. You may have studied general philosophy at school. At school, you may have studied emotions, passions, and what have you. Okay? So emotions are not necessarily awatif, as we say in Arabic. Emotions include anger, aggression, and what have you. So emotion is an instinct that the human being shares with animals. Okay? So when she says, with set jaw they are fighting, 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 she means to say that people who go to wars are controlled by anger. Okay? People who go to wars are controlled by anger. And anger here is one of the instincts that are related to the death instinct that man should control. With set jaw, they are fighting. They are fighting, fighting, fighting. Some we love whom we know. Some we love but know not. That hearts may feel and not be numb. Is the idea of anger clear?
Yes, very clear.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that jaw, they are fighting, fighting, fighting. Some we love, we know. Some we love whom we know. Some we love but know not. That hearts may feel and not be numb. It cures me. Or am I what I cannot believe in? So if these words cure us of hatred, then it will be fine. If they do not cure us of hatred, it means that we do not believe in what we say. Some
Sorry,
slow.
doctor. Can you repeat this idea, please?
Yes, I said if these wars help us to cure ourselves of hatred, then this war is fine. But if it doesn't cure us of a sense of hatred, it means that we don't believe in what we say. It means that we are hypocrites. And she will come to this at the end when she says, all Iscariot like crime. Iscariot betrayed Jesus Christ, although he was one of his disciples. So according to her, if we don't trust our potentials, i.e. the potentials to stop all wars or all wars, we will be like Judas Iscariot. We will be betraying ourselves. I will be traitors, betraying human life. Is it clear?
Yes.
some in snow, some on crags, some in quicksands, little by little, much by much, they are fighting, 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 that where there was death, there may be life. When a man is prey to anger, he is moved by outside things. When he holds his ground in patience, 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 that is action or beauty. The soldier's defense and hardest armor for the fight. Okay, so here she draws a contrast between anger and patience. Okay, so anger leads, let's say, to problems, but patience, according to her, is action or beauty. Yes, it is beauty because patience leads to the preservation of life. Okay, so beauty in this poem means life. At the end of the poem, she says, beauty is everlasting and dust is for a time. Here it is the beauty of life. So life is eternal, it is everlasting, and dust is for a time. Here dust means man, i.e. the human being lives for a certain period of time on earth. Okay? Then he dies. So man is not everlasting, but life is everlasting. So this life should be preserved through patience, through love, through faith, and through trust.
Doctor?
Yes?
But the life is the life of man. So if the
The life
man
what?
dies, whose life is important?
Do you live eternally? Do you live forever?
Their reputation?
I'm not talking about your reputation as a woman, as a human being. Are you an eternal being?
No.
Are you a god?
No.
No. So you may live for 20 years, for 40 years, for 50 years, for 100 years. At the end you will die. So that's why she says dust is for a time, i.e. the human being lives for a certain period of time on earth. But the death of man doesn't mean that life ends with his death. Life goes on from one generation to another. So that's why she says beauty, i.e. life, is everlasting. Okay, so if man is controlled by patience, all wars will stop. Okay, so the emphasis here is on the internal causes of war as well as on the internal causes that stop Okay, so anger is something internal. Okay, so you may be angered by me. So I am the cause of your anger. So as a result, you may engage in something harmful. You may attack me. But if you are patient, you may not respond to me. Again, patience is a psychological value. That's why she says the soldier's defense and hardest armor for the fight. So the fighter or the soldier should not arm himself with hatred, with anger, with arrogance. He should arm himself with patience. The world's an orphan's home. Okay? So in other words, all people are orphans living in the world. So the world houses all human beings. It shelters all human beings. It provides them with a home. And a home is not only a physical place where you live. A home, it is a place that provides you with security, with safety, with love, with emotions, with a sense of belongingness. Okay, so the world is supposed to provide man with a sense of security and safety. It is not supposed to be a source of life, a source of death for man. Shall we never have peace without sorrow, without pleas of the dying for help that won't come? Oh, quiet form upon the dust. I cannot look, and yet I must. If these great patient dyings, all these agonies and wound bearings and bloodshed can teach us how to live, these dyings were not wasted. Okay, so here she is saying that do we have to have peace at the expense of the lives of others? I.e., we don't have to have peace in our world as a result of causing the death of the soldiers that defend the nation. Oh, quiet form upon the dust. The quiet form upon the dust is the dead soldier. I cannot look, and yet I must. If these great patient dyings, all these agonies and wound bearings and bloodshed can teach us how to live, these dyings were not wasted. Okay, so if the deaths of these soldiers can teach us how to live properly, then their sacrifices are not wasted. I.e., they have not died for nothing. Okay, so in other words, man should learn from wars to stop all types of war. Hate hardened heart, i.e. the heart that has been hardened by hatred. O heart of iron, iron is iron till it is rust. Yes. So in other words, hatred leads to its own destruction. Okay? In other words, a man who is controlled by hatred will destroy himself as a result of his hatred. So that's why she says, O heart of iron, iron is iron till it is rust. Okay, so rust destroys iron, and it is part of iron. And man's hatred leads to man's own destruction. So in other words, man is his own enemy. He kills himself through his own feelings of hatred and arrogance and anger and lack of patience. There never was a war that was not inward. There never was a war that was not inward. So according to the poem, a war that should be waged is a war waged against the human psyche. Okay, so the real war that should take place is a war that is waged against the evil nature of man. So it is not a war waged against others. I must fight till I have conquered in myself what causes war. Okay? So we have to purge ourselves of the causes that lead to war. And these causes are associated with man's internal psyche. And I said it is man's death instinct. It is man's death instinct. I must fight till I have conquered in myself what causes war, but I wouldn't believe it. I inwardly did nothing. So if I don't believe that, I should wage a psychological war against my inner self, I will not do anything. Okay? If I don't wage a war against my inner self, it means that I will be betraying myself and humanity in general. So that's why she says, I wouldn't believe it. I inwardly did nothing. Oh, Iscariot-like cry. So this is a reference to Judas Iscariot's betrayal of Jesus Christ. Okay, all of us know that Judas Iscariot, Judas Judas, Iscariot, it is written in the poem. Judas Iscariot is one of the
Doctor, we can't hear you.
Betray me with a kiss. Okay, so Judas Iscariot.
Doctor, we weren't hearing you.
Huh?
You were muted.
We weren't hearing you. You were muted.
No, I'm not muted. I said Judas Iscariot is the disciple of Jesus Christ. He betrayed him to the Romans who wanted to kill him. So here, Judas Iscariot is a symbol of betrayal. He's a traitor, خائن. Betrayal, B-E-T-R-A-Y-A-L. Judas Iscariot is a symbol of betrayal. He betrayed Jesus Christ to the Romans who crucified him later on. Okay? So according to Merriam Moore, if we don't purge ourselves of our evil nature, we will be betraying ourselves. And we will be betraying humanity. Yes, this is a crime against the human being, against human.
Can you repeat it, please?
Which one?
This note.
Okay. Merriam Moore is saying that if we do not purge ourselves of our evil nature, we will be betraying ourselves as well as all humanity.
Thank you.
Okay? Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus Christ. He caused his death, his crucifixion, and if we don't purge ourselves of the causes, i.e. of the psychological causes of war, we will be betraying humanity. Yes, i.e. we will be engaged in waging further wars against other people. Beauty is everlasting, and dust is for a time. And I said, dust is man, and beauty here is life. So life is eternal. Life is everlasting, but man is a being who lives for a short period of time. So man is not eternal, man is not immortal, but life on earth is immortal. So that's why we have to purge ourselves of our evil nature so that life will be preserved on earth. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
doctor.
So here Merriam Moore
Yes, doctor.
aims at controlling the death instinct of man and at preserving the life instinct, the life instinct, i.e. Eros. Okay, so according to her, if Earth controls our lives, we will have no more wars that destroy the human life on Earth. Is it clear?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Do you have any question concerning the poem?
Clear, doctor.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay, clear. Okay, next time.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm saying next time I will introduce to you how to write a proposal. Okay? We are done with writing an essay, writing a summary, writing a paraphrase, writing a research paper. And you are still working on how to write a list of words cited or a list of references. Okay? So meantime, we will be working on how to write a proposal. So I think on Tuesday, I will introduce this chapter. If I make up my mind, I may discuss how to write a bibliography note for a book written by more than one author, and how to write a bibliography note for a book that is edited by an editor, or a book that is edited in, or a text that is edited in an anthology, and I may send you a poem to discuss. Okay? So in this case, you will have enough time to study during the Christmas vacation. So during the Christmas vacation, you have to study everything that we have covered. Okay? So you have to study the poems that we have discussed so far. So we have discussed 3, and we may discuss the 4th on Tuesday. And if we have classes next Thursday, we will have a class. Okay? So we will cover as many poems before the Christmas vacation as possible, so that you will have time to study your notes during the Christmas vacation. So don't postpone anything till the last minute. So you don't have to postpone everything till the time of the exam, because we usually have this exam the first or the second day of the exam, so you don't have enough time to study. So you'd better review everything during the Christmas vacation, including how to write an essay, how to write a summary, how to write a paraphrase, how to write a research paper, how to document your sources within the text, and you have to review the notes that you have taken on the poems that we have discussed, because the poems are also required for the final exam. So if I intend to discuss a poem on Tuesday, I will send it to you by WhatsApp. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, doctor.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes, can I ask a question?
Okay, go on.
If we are going to write a research paper about this poem, what is the methodology?
I said, it is Freud's philosophy of psychoanalysis.
Okay.
I introduced the methodology at the end of the last session, and I reintroduced it at the beginning of this session. Freud's view of civilization and how civilization requires that man should control his basic drives and needs and tendencies. And I referred to 2 instincts that Freud deals with in his book Civilization and its Discontents. I said we have death instinct and life instinct. And according to Freud, to be a civilized man, one has to be controlled by his life instinct, not by his death instinct. So this is the methodology. Then you apply it to the poem. I applied it to the poem. Right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, not at all. Any more questions?
Doctor, concerning the summary of the phrase, you may ask in the exam, for example, to summarize one of the sentences in the poem.
I will give you a text to summarize, not a poem.
Oh, so the poems are only related to the idea of the
The
research.
poems, okay, on the exam you will have to write a research paper on a topic related to the poems that we study in class. But if I ask you to summarize a text, I will give you an article that you have not read before. You have to show me that you know how to read and how to identify the main ideas and the main supporting details and how you write the summary in your own words. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, thank you. Doctor,
Yes.
to document the sources in the text, is it coming from